Mm.
So, hi guys, this is Princess, and we're just here to discuss about money. Let's say we all have need for money. We all want to be rich. We all want to have enough to do whatever we want to do. And please, this is like a disclaimer. All of us here, we are not financial advisors. We are just here to talk about what we feel and what we think we know. With me is AY, AY, and Grace. So I'll let them introduce themselves, starting from Grace.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Grace, and I work as an HR officer with a charity in the UK. Nice to meet everyone.
Nice meeting you, AY.
Hi, my name is Ayo. I work as a data and performance analyst with a water company. Yeah, we just leave it at that.
Yeah, and AY also has a YouTube channel that she has been
That I
she has
have
been
abandoned.
she has abandoned and she has been so quiet. But yeah, actually, it was like AY's channel that gave me an insight to start my own. So yeah. So today I have like a series of questions that we're just going to discuss. We can go turns or I can mention names, but
Okay.
the first question I have is, does money make one happy?
Honestly, absolutely yes.
Okay, okay.
I just from my perspective, just to like give that a little more context. I feel like it's just when you have it, the security of it is not you actually holding the cash or even wanting to spend it, but having them just maybe having it somewhere that it's accessible to you. It gives you so much comfort, confidence, and it just makes you happy. You don't necessarily have to spend it at that time, but just having it makes you happy. I think
So no,
from my own
knowing that it's in
perspective,
your account,
just
it just
knowing that
makes
you
you
have it
happy.
easily accessible, you can touch it anytime, it just makes you happy. It makes you
Okay,
happy.
okay. And Grace, you?
Yeah, I agree. Well, I said, like, even though people always say money is not everything, but 99% of the challenges we face in life is solved by money.
Money.
So even Dangote said when he made his first, was it million or billion, he had to go withdraw everything and just hold it. Like, so money definitely can make one happy. It cannot meet all the problems that we have on this earth, but
Mm-hmm.
it definitely meet like 90%. So yeah,
Yeah.
money definitely makes one happy.
Okay. The next question there is, what is your definition of like money?
Mm.
Is it just cash? So is it just oh, I have this amount in my account? Is it cash? Is it what I have in the bank? What is like your definition of money?
Hmm, I can go first. I
Okay.
would say money is not just only cash. Money can also be like investment, can be assets that it's not liquid, but anything that in case of any challenge or any die time you're going through, you can actually convert it to cash to pay for anything. Because even if it is like estate or real estate investments, if you're actually like in tight need for cash, you can actually like sell those things to get money. So even though at that point it's not money, it's an asset, but yeah, I think anything that you have that can actually be turned into like cash. So it might even be like agriculture that you have is a type of investment, but can still end up as money. So I think that's what it is to me.
Okay.
Yeah,
AY.
I'm just gonna add to what Grace has said. Money can be anything. Anything that you're able to convert into something, that you're able to exchange for, goods, services, whatnot, is money. Even people can be money. Resources you have can be money. Anything can be money. Anything that you're able to give out and get something back in exchange for it, whether it's a product or a service or whatever, is money. So money is beyond cash, is beyond currency. Money can be anything. Yeah.
Mm.
So AY just like pointed out something that I haven't really thought about when she said people can be money.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that? Because my head is spinning there.
People can be money in the sense that if I do not have cash and I could literally just walk up to Grace to say, Grace, you know, I'm craving an ice cream. and she would
Mm.
get me the ice cream. I'm not giving her the money to, get me any ice cream, but she is the person that, in whatever form, like she's paying, I do not necessarily have to know, but she's giving me the ice cream. In that case, we could say that, she's money to me because she's provided what I need. And, just people even standing as an intermediary between, you and what you need can be a means of payment, and, so many other examples.
Uh,
Uh,
Princess,
okay.
let me just quickly add to that. I think
Yeah.
another, what you're trying to say is like your network can also be your money.
Yes,
Because, for
exactly.
example, if I'm friends with like the billionaires in this world, your $10
Mm-hmm.
of this world, that's actually like a network that could turn into
I
currency when
mean,
I need that.
mm-hmm,
Yeah. So yeah, you
mm-hmm,
have a good
yeah,
point.
yeah.
Mm, okay. We learn every day. The next question I want to ask is, so we all have different values
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to life, when it comes to our work ethics and so on. So when it comes to money, what is your value?
Mm.
I know, right?
That's you have to
That's
think
deep.
about that before you actually speak.
Yeah.
So, mm, honestly, for me, I think when it comes to money, something I see as a value for me is hard work.
Mm,
Is very key for me. If I have put my, diligence, my dedication into something, my hard work into something, and is giving me money in return, I put so much value on that, and it gives you so much, should I say, confidence to say that this is what I've worked for. So I would say that for me, when it comes to money, what I see as a value is my hard work, my diligence, what I am putting into it. And I would also say that when it comes to money, you should be careful because, even the Bible says that the love of money is the root of all evils. Money is not the root of all evils, it is the love of money that is the root of all evils. So one has to be very careful, especially, because of fast making money stuff everywhere. Just people can do
money.
anything for
Just come.
money. A while back, some years back, there was this like Ponzi scheme. This, I don't want to mention names, but you know what I'm talking about. So, uh, and even what the extent that people go to get money is crazy. But for me, I feel like the most important thing I put my, value on when it comes to money is my hard work, what I am doing to get that money for myself.
Okay. Grace.
I also agree. Like you get like the satisfaction when you get paid at the end of the month. I know this is something I worked for. It's
Mm-hmm,
not something that was just handed to you. Your
mm-hmm,
sweat, your blood is in that. And also I'll say, like, I think respect for money, it should not be like disrespected. I think people kind of like, nowadays people don't really understand money, especially younger people. They feel like, they have to go to extreme means to make money. And when you're
mm-hmm,
even telling people what you do to, to cater for yourself, some people want to look down on it, like maybe it's not glamorous, and I feel like whatever it is anyone is doing, and it's something that is even common in the UK, like where people feel like,
mm-hmm.
oh, this is what you do. If you're doing something like this, you get more respect. But regardless of what you're doing, as long as it's honest work, as long as there's dignity in what you're doing
Mm-hmm.
and it's meeting your needs, I think, yeah, you should respect how you make your money. It should
Mhm.
give you satisfaction. And that's
Yeah.
what is the most important thing, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. So the both of you agree that hard work should be a value when it comes to money.
Yeah.
So I want
Mm.
to like elaborate on hard work. Now, does it mean that we should like kind of work hard for money to come? Because there are some people that money is working for them, they are not working for money. So what do you have to say about that?
I mean, I would say that those people are lucky. Some of them, they have like trust fund, generational wealth, and whatnot. So we could say that money is working for them. But even as an individual, your money can work for you in
Hmm.
terms of like investment. There are so many legit investment that you can actually put your money into, and it works for you. So in that case, I would say it's also hard work because even as an individual, you have made some amount of money to be able to put into investment. So it is still your hard work speaking at that moment in time, putting it into, money, maybe sleeping while making money or whatnot. And I would say that even when working hard, there's a new slogan, you work smart. Work hard,
Exactly.
work smart. But in whatever thing that you're doing, as much as it's legal and whatever, I mean, be proud of it. No, even if you're just cleaning windows, it's hard work. Even if you're just
Mm,
flipping through papers, it is still hard work. Do you
Mm.
anything that you know that you are able to boast of to say this is making me money in the most legal way, the most legit way, is hard work. Yep.
okay. Do you have anything to say, Grace?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that for those that have money working for them, if you go like if you look into their history, it might be that it's even like generations ahead of them. Someone had put
Mm-hmm.
in that hard work and they're just like
Exactly.
reaping it. So it's not
Yes.
like they're actually there was no hard work along the way. Just maybe somebody has worked for them and it's just they're just enjoying the benefit now. But hard work is really important and also working smart because if you're putting in hard work alone and you're not thinking outside of the box and
Mm-hmm.
how to think about the future in the next few years, where do I want to be, like what things do I want to have accomplished, you would actually not be working smartly. But if you combine
Mm-hmm.
working smartly and hard work and all other things like honesty and all those other parts, you actually see the benefits.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm just
I
gonna
like
say that.
okay.
Sorry, I'm just gonna say that even people that we say that are enjoying generational wealth and stuff, if they don't continue to feed
Hmm.
into that thing that brings money, it dies. So
Yeah.
in one little way on or another, there has to be someone feeding into the system where the money comes from. If you look at these people, example of like Dangote and Co, you see that they put their children into directors, they train them, they put them into the business so that it continues. The cycle must
Mm.
continue.
Yeah.
So whether we like it or not, there's still some hard work going on behind the scene that we might not even know.
Yeah.
So I feel like it has to be continuous. And just like Grace said, working smart means thinking outside of the box. How do I want to ensure that this money does not end?
Mm.
So I'm going to say that it is continuous and, hard work is just you're putting it one way or the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very good how you've actually brought the context of generational wealth, having someone that worked for the money, and now you're reaping the fruit of another person's hard work. And that actually brings me to my next question. Did your parents teach you about finance? I like how you mentioned Dangote, and immediately you mentioned Dangote and his children. I was
Yeah,
like,
we're like,
oh,
oh,
it's like
yeah,
you know the
let's
next
go to my
question I want to
parents.
ask.
Like, let's go to my parents. What did they say about finance?
So yeah, like, did your parents teach you
Mm.
anything about finance? I'm going to let me start from here. I'm someone that have like a background. My father was a banker and he
Mm.
got to the height of being a banker. My mother, both of them studied business and accounting and stuff like that. But did they actually sit down and say, Princess, this is this is that, this is it? No,
Mm,
I don't think they did. However, I fed into watching them. Now, the fact that somebody studies something in school and the person actually practices it doesn't mean that the person makes the best financial decisions.
yeah.
So I come to the place like I see my mom, she owns her own business, she runs her own business, and you see how she kind of like deprives herself of some things just so her finances are well balanced. And that in a way, how will I put it now? It's in a way like help me or taught me about finance, but it's not something that it's something that watched or I learned by watching them, and not necessarily them sitting down and say, you know what, this is this is that, this is this. So I think that is my own perspective. So I'll ask Grace now. What?
Um, for me, my mom did actually like teachers when it comes to like finance because she was like in my own family, like my mom was like the financial planner. And it's common in like an African family where there's someone that brings in the income and there's someone that takes care
Takes
of that
care,
income.
make sure
Yeah.
that
Make
everything is
sure,
okay.
yeah. So she was in charge of like financial planning. So she's the kind of person that when she comes back home at the end of the month, when she gets paid, she'll withdraw like a whole salary and be like, okay, I'm going to like share what we'll be using this money for. So she taught me how to like budget. So like when it comes to like prioritizing what's the most important thing. So I remember there she'd be like, okay, this is for this in the house, this is for school fees, this person's school fees, this is for what is this that you need, and this money is for myself. This is all I have for the month. And at the end of the month, we'd all tell her what we need for the new month so that she would give it to us. Because if you don't tell her before Like you can't just come in the middle of the month and say, "Mommy, I need this." She'll be like, "No, I've already done my budgets. I can't cope. Got me your dad or something." So I learned budgeting from her and prioritizing, and I also learned like this contribution that we do, this ajo. It's
Yeah.
something she did. They had like cooperative where they like, they save money together. So if there's
Mhm.
any big project in the family that is going on, she'll know,
Yeah.
okay, I need to do this adjust for so months so I could, plan for this. Or she'll be like, oh, they're having this wedding in my office. The Ashwebi is so expensive. I don't think I'm going to be going this month because I've done my budget and I can't meet up. So I learned that from her. But also as an adult, like that's not enough because our parents don't talk about investments. Like, okay, are you investing in like opportunities around you? And she taught us about budgeting and having second income, like not only one source of income, having a second income and all those things like that. But I would say as an adult I've learned other things like budgeting, trying to look into investment opportunities around you. Yeah, I tried to go into crypto when it was still hot. Things like
It is
I
still
mean
hot. It is still hot,
I,
actually. It is still hot.
well, I made some money off it then, but along the line, I've like not really had. I mean, UK is really stressful enough. I've not been able to add crypto to it, but I'm just saying, like on my own as an adult, I've tried to like teach myself more about finance. But I'll say, yeah, my mom
Mhm.
did give me a bit of like foundation.
Okay,
Yeah.
AY.
Yeah. I'll be like, she's even like said most of the things that came to my mind. But I'm gonna say that for me, maybe not directly to say, okay, do this, do that, like with your money or with your finances. But I know that there were some little things here and there. For example, when I did my NYC, at the end, my dad was like, "Oh, how much have you saved?" He wasn't going to collect it, but he just wanted to see how I've been able to manage myself over, you know, the 1 year, things
Mm,
like that. And, even sometimes, maybe when we're in school and we're coming back home, it's going to be like, if you didn't buy anything, it was going to be like, you just call me, you didn't buy anything. Why? He said you should be able to put some money aside to just say, oh, because I'm coming back home, let me just bring something, maybe like just bread or something for the family. It's not necessarily saying we need the bread, but it's
mm,
just because you be able to manage your finances so that it even helps others,
mhm.
something like that. So those little things, like so many of them have just come up while I was growing up, just to say that this is the way you have to manage your finances, this, and I know even my mom mentions it a lot that, oh, when you start having children, that money that you have to yourself, now you have to divide it into so many other things. So maybe not directly saying, okay, do this, but along the line they've hinted
Subtle,
so many
subtle.
things.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
just going to say that sometimes I believe that everyone makes financial, wrong financial decisions, let me just put it that way. Even the best of the best, even Elon Musk, even whoever we might call it, they have made some wrong financial decisions, because when it comes to finances, sometimes you are going for risks, and sometimes some are high, some are low. So even sometimes you think that some things are going to be come out as the best, but they eventually go down the drain. So I feel like when it comes to finance, more than our parents teaching us, just like Damia said, we have to like look into more opportunities around us. And it does not mean that when we put it into one, it's going to become 10. Sometimes
Mm.
when you put it into one, it becomes zero. Sometimes when you put it into one, it becomes five. So I think that is a learning process, is a learning curve. You know how to do things better, it keeps going on better and better. I'm just going to say that, yeah, it's been a good, you know, thing to hear from my parents here and there. And just like Dami also said, I just remembered my mom is a civil servant, she's a teacher, and I know that she combined so many things. There was a time she was selling coconuts, this sugary coconut, I can't remember the name.
Oh,
Sometimes she was
I
selling
ate that
zobo,
snack. I ate that snack. It's very
coconut and
nice.
sugar.
Yes,
Yes,
I like frying
yeah.
and
Mm.
They
put it
sell
to
it to
sugar.
students. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's really
Yeah.
nice.
she sold zobo, she sold chin chin, she made beads. Along
That's
the
where the
line, she was
second
income.
income.
Yeah, that second stream
Yeah,
of income. So even without her telling me that, you have to have a second stream of income, I have
you
seen
can
her do
see.
it.
You can
Yeah. So
see. Yeah.
sometimes our parents, especially African parents, they don't necessarily have to say, "Oh, do this," but we can learn from them some of the things they have done. So even myself, I know that, okay, I saw my mom doing these things growing up. So it's like a part of me, and it's just something I hope to be able to do better in the future.
Okay. I like how Dami mentioned that her mom comes every beginning of the month and kind of like budgets and say, if you come in the middle of the month and say, "Mommy, I want this." No, it's not
Mm-hmm.
part of the budget. And that actually brings me to my next question. Do you have a money journal, a budget planner?
Mm.
Yeah, I like that.
Ah.
I actually like that because, yeah, for me, I would say, do I have a money journal? I don't really have a money journal, but I have a kind of budget planner. It's
Mm.
one thing to have a budget planner. It's another thing to stick with that your budget planner. Well, yes, I do have a budget planner, and what I actually do is that at the end of the month, kind of, or when I'm paid. You know what? No, I'm going to ask you guys. Let me leave that question. So, AY, can you help, or do you have like
Oh
a
my God. I
money
know
journal
not
or
everything works for everybody. At the point in my life where I am right now, I do not have such. I feel like I just want to be free. I don't want to constantly be thinking about money to say, oh, how much did I spend today? How much did I spend last week? Maybe I'm going to eventually get there. But for me, I just want to have peace of mind over my money. If it's my money, please.
so
Anyhow
money
I
does not
spend
give
it.
you peace of mind?
No, because when you're too, how do I put it now? You're constantly thinking
You're
about,
too
oh, how much did I
meticulous,
spend?
yeah.
How much did I spend yesterday? How much did I spend today? I'm not spending anybody's money. I'm not trying to give accounts to anybody. So for me, I don't have something I would say that, oh yeah, I have like a budget planner or whatever. But in the last few months, something I've incorporated is, having to write down things I have to do, so that when my money comes in, I remember that, okay, maybe I have to buy this, I have to give this person that. I just write that down, but I'm not exactly monitoring it to say that, oh, how much did I can't calculate how much I've spent. I'm just writing them down to know that, okay, so that when the money comes, I remember to say, okay, I needed to get this. Let me get it, so that the rest of the money I have it to myself and I don't forget. So I do that month by month to be able to say that, okay, this month these are the things I'm buying or these are the things I'm doing. That's the only thing. And I don't even calculate. I can't say that this is the total for the month or what. I just put them down to know that this is what I want to do. So maybe later on I'll get to that stage in my life, but I mean right
Now
now
you're a free bird.
I'm
Anything
giving
I want to do with
with
my
my
money, that's what
money.
I'm going to do with my money.
Yes,
It is
with
my
my money,
money.
I am
My
a
money,
free
my
bird.
choice.
I tell you, this my money. I'm doing whatever I like with it.
Okay, okay. So, Grace, anything?
Like I was like AY, like when I first came into the UK, because we didn't have like stable income, so it's when money comes in and it's not really
Mm-hmm.
enough to even say you want to start budgeting or planning or saving something. So it's
Exactly.
my money, my choice back then. But like since we've left school, one's already becoming like a bit stable, and also having like one or two projects that I'm also trying to like work on personally. I've had to like have kind of like a plan. I won't say it's like a money journal, a budget plan, but I kind of like
Mm-hmm.
know how much I am supposed to get every month
Yeah.
now. And I know
Yeah.
that except one gets a miraculous bonus or something, it's not changing. So I
Yeah.
just I just use that to plan like, okay, how much am I going to spend on rent, which is like the
Mm-hmm.
biggest thing that takes the money away?
Yeah.
How much am I spending on maybe like bills, council tax, and all those kind of things? And how much am I going to spend on feeding? So for the feeding, I put that in like a separate account because I kind of want to put like a tap like it. I don't want it to over the
Go
threshold.
over, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I put that money in a separate account and I just use that. So if ending of the month and I've not completed like spending the money, I just used to like spoil myself, maybe take myself out or something. But I just put that in place just to make sure that I'm also checking myself. Then I
Yeah.
also put some money in for saving towards the personal project that I'm
Exactly.
working on. But
Exactly.
all those kind of like and they're actually like tools that help. I know Monzo has a kind of like a tracker, a spending tracker. I'm not really sure,
Oh,
but I think somebody has
yeah.
mentioned it.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
They
it
do.
does.
Yeah,
They have a lot actually. Monzo is like,
Yeah.
oof, everything finance. I've been looking into it. They have money pots. They have
yeah. I use the money
investment
Yeah.
pot.
pots.
So
It's
yeah.
really nice.
Yeah, so I just like the
Mm-hmm.
money pot is where I kind of put like some savings, like I don't want to touch and
Exactly.
just fix it
Mm-hmm.
there. But obviously, having a budget planner is very good because you learn to know like where's my money going to every month. I can
Yeah.
always look back and say, okay, this is what took my money last month, and I
Exactly.
don't want it to repeat
Exactly.
itself this month, or I want to pull money from this pot into this pot for something important. But nothing really big, but just
Mm-hmm.
small.
Y-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is that when we hear the term money journal, or budget planner. It seems like something big, but it's actually not.
Yeah.
It's actually not. The
Oh
both
my
of you
god.
now, you feel like I'm not doing any budget planning, I'm not doing
No.
money journal,
uh,
but you are.
well, in a way,
AY for instance, now you told me that you bring a pen and a paper and you write down, okay, at the
Yeah,
end of this month, this is what I'm going to
this
use
is
this money
yeah.
for.
yeah.
It doesn't really mean that you're checkmating yourself or
Um.
saying that my
Yeah.
money is not my money. No. But the idea that, at the end of the month, I'm going to get this particular amount and I'm going to use this particular amount to do this, do that, do this. Now, everybody does budget planners for different reasons. It can be
Mm-hmm.
to save, it can be to do an investment, it can be to get a pile of money. But in your case, you don't want to target budget planner, but you are doing budget
Yeah,
planner,
yeah, because sometimes I don't want to be too strict with myself. Of course, like I have,
which is
you know,
understandable.
where
Which
I
is
just put my money.
understandable.
Okay, I need to do
Yeah.
this, but I don't want to be overly strict with myself to say, I have a budget planner, or when I say, oh, I've gone over it and I'm giving myself unnecessary headache. Of course,
Okay.
like maybe just subtle, or putting money here, putting money there, but not. I don't want to be overly strict with myself. So that's why I would say that nah. For now, I know I've heard of some people how is help them. Maybe this month you you went out, you ate out for way over like £200. You'll be like, oh, next month I have to cook more. I don't want to. It helps them, which is good. But for me, because I don't necessarily live that kind of lifestyle to say, okay, this
Mm,
is where my money is going, or maybe I'll say that I'm buying too much clothes or spe- so I don't see for now. I'm not seeing anything that should actually put a cap on for myself. Even when I spend money on myself now, it just be like, oh no, it's just a treat for me because I don't
mm,
necessarily even put money into those things. So I would say that I just want to keep my money flexible and just keep my plans flexible as well.
So nothing strict. But
Nothing strict.
okay, it comes to the next question. What budgeting rule works for you? Now I know you guys will say you're not budgeting, but you
We are
are
budgeting
actually.
you. We are budgeting. No. Yeah, of course you're budgeting. I'm gonna say that the most important one is put the money for your bills aside. You want to have a
mm,
roof over your head. You want to have, amenities. You want to have utilities.
mhm,
So number one budgeting rule is to put the money for your bills. Just set them aside, pay them or whatever you want to do. But it is very important that you set them aside. I'm not even going to lie because you want to have a roof over your head and whatever. So when you put, these things aside, then what is left, just like, Grace said, you may want to have, long-term savings, short-term savings, holiday savings, whatever
You
money
girls
for
gotta
food,
travel.
grocery.
Girls gotta
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can
travel.
now put all of these things. You can now
mm,
put all of these things. You can now set them based on what's left or whatever percentage you're using to save. I've heard some people say 70, 20, 10 rule.
Exactly.
Then
mm,
maybe 70 for bills and what I don't know. I don't know how they do all of this. But I've read, I've seen, I've watched a lot of these things. So whatever works for you. But I'm gonna say the number one thing, as long as you're paying bills, if you're fortunate to be living with your parents or
Oh,
having someone paying the bills for you or something, it is great. But as an adult where you're living by yourself, it is important that whatever gives you peace of mind. And I believe that that's a roof over your head, paying your bills,
having
accessible
food to
water,
eat.
internet, all
Yeah.
of those things are very important. Set them aside. So whatever is left, then you can place the rest of your budget on that.
Okay.
mm.
Grace.
For me, it would be cutting your coat according to your size, because there's no sense in like knowing what you can afford and going above board. Like, so for example, you're not earning as like earning so well, and you're living in a place that you're paying like your rent is like your whole salary. That's going to be stupid.
Mm,
That's
So
absolutely dumb.
yeah, so I would say first rule, if you want to survive, you have to cut your coat according to your size. Make sure you're not living above your means, making sure that with your salary you can afford to like put a roof over your head, you can afford to pay
mm-hmm,
your bills. But if you're like what AY said, like she doesn't have anything that will make her like she's living life moderately. So you're not spending above your means. So if you're not
mm-hmm,
spending lavishly, you will be able to like meet your basic needs and be able to live a comfortable life. Because I'm not talking about Nigeria. I'm going to talk about the UK now. For example, you earn in a way that you can afford the basic. the only way you're not able to afford the basic, even when you're
Mm,
earning, is because you're not cutting your coat according to your size. You're living
yes.
above your means. So the first rule for me would be like, live below your means so you can live very comfortably. And as
Mhm.
your income increases, you can decide to make some adjustments where possible.
Yeah. With the budgeting rule, I want to say, just like AY said, some people say 70, 20, 10. It comes with, I think it's savings, needs, and wants. Yeah. Savings, needs, and wants. So some people do their needs 70%, some people do their wants 10%, and some people do their savings 20%.
20%. Yeah.
So there's kind of like a balance. For me, I do that kind of thing. In fact, once my salary comes in every month, that percentage for saving, I
Must enter.
I just take it out. Like I don't even care if I don't eat that month. I don't care. I just take it out because I don't want to hear that. Ah, I went to go and touch my savings money. No, now it's not possible. So I think when it comes to budgeting rule, wahala. Hey, this UK, we have to be smart about our money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when it comes to budgeting rule, I think anything that works for you, like AY said,
Exactly.
we just need to be free about it. For AY, she needs to be free. She doesn't want to be
Yeah.
strict.
For
It
me.
depends, everybody and their perspective. But at the end of the day, we just want to have our basic need, just like Maslow's law said, food, water, housing. We just need to have those basic things and we can be able to afford it. Another thing Grace said that I like is that you should live below your means, actually. You know,
Yeah.
some people say cut your coat according to your size. No, if you're big like
According
me,
to the fabric. It's
according
according
to
to
the
the
fabric.
fabric. Oh. It's
Exactly.
according
Oh.
to the fabric on
Thank
ground.
you very much. Because no, you cannot cut your coat according to your size. No, you have to live below your means. If you know that at the end of the day, because it will actually help you in saving more and kind of like getting what you want out of life. This life is for living. It's not
Mm.
for today I don't feel like cooking. I need to eat out, and I cannot. Why?
I'm
So
just gonna say that. Sorry, I don't know if your question is gonna get there eventually, but I'm just gonna say that even when we're saying live below your means or whatever, it does not mean that you should be like say stingy to yourself, or
Mm.
absolutely not.
sometimes you need that break. If you need
Yeah.
to treat yourself, go shopping, even if it's just buying food, do it. We're not saying that just strictly live below your means because you want to save money or whatever. As much as you're saving money and stuff, there should be times, maybe in a month or in 3 months, whatever works for you, to say, I'm going to be able to spoil myself. You're not saying be stingy to yourself, but we're just saying that, have a balance to things. And I like the way you say, live below your means so that, when the time comes, you can live within your means or above your
Yeah,
means.
yeah,
Mm.
On the long run, it could even be going on holiday where you are just living large, having fun, and that is you just enjoying because you've lived below your means few months back. So let's just put a balance to that, to say that live below your means, which is great, but also be flexible to, if sometimes you just want to treat, go for it,
But can I
whatever works for you.
just
Yeah,
add to
go
that
on.
anyway? For me, I feel like when people say, you give yourself a treat, people like misinterpret that into like, let's spend the money because now,
uh
no, because I feel like, okay, yeah, I've denied myself for a couple of
yeah,
months and I want to give myself a
yeah,
break. Now let's spend that money. But they don't understand, like, even if you want to give yourself a treat, you don't have to go extreme.
overboard. Yeah,
mm-hmm,
Like, giving yourself a treat could be like, okay, this whole month I've not eaten outside. Okay,
mm-hmm.
I'm just going to go to go to, for example, go to Peckham and go and eat like nice amala. That's still fair in
That's still
terms
a
of
it's
treat.
price.
legit. It's a
Yeah.
Yeah,
legit treat.
it's still a treat. Compared to,
It's a treat.
I want to go to the Shard or the Gherkins for a rooftop dinner.
Oh my
Do you
god,
understand?
this girl be giving me things in my head.
Like, those are two different things, but it's still the same context of giving
Yeah,
yourself a treat.
exactly. As long as you know that this thing, it is still, should I say affordable without,
Mm,
necessarily,
Going
turning your
overboard.
savings into
yeah.
skeleton. Some people say that I'm saving for the raining day and the raining day has come. Please don't, don't. What you're saying, give yourself a treat. You're not saying, "Oh, the whole raining day should just come." A treat is a treat. Don't go overboard with it. A treat
Yeah.
could just be buying pizza and ice cream. That is a treat.
Exactly.
Is a treat. A treat could be taking Uber instead of walking 10 minutes.
Working.
It is still a treat.
It
So
is.
don't go overboard with saying a treat and have 7 treats in a month. That one money don't go. Yes.
Okay. My next question would have been, do you have a payday routine? But I think we've covered it in the previous question.
Hmm.
We've discussed a little bit about
Yeah.
that. So my next question will be, what do you think, from your own perspective, is a money well spent?
Are you saying my money is it well spent or
No.
money generally?
So I have money, but from my own perspective, if I spend this money, I spent it well. I didn't waste the money.
I feel like
Hmm.
it varies. It varies from time to time, month to month. Sometimes you feel like, for me personally, sometimes I feel like, oh, this month I've done really well. Maybe I've not done a whole lot of things. And sometimes you're like, oh, nah, it's kind of a bad month. I've,
Yeah.
gone overboard. So I'm gonna say that it's flexible, but it varies. But try to have more good months than bad months. So I'll just keep
Eh,
it that way. So sometimes I feel like I'm spending well. Sometimes like, nah, I've made some bad decisions.
Good. When you think that you've spent the money well, that's your good month.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do with the money that you felt that, you know what, I spent this money well?
I would say that what did I not do with the money would be for me. So what did I not do with the money? It could be maybe shopping.
Okay. So,
Especially with these online apps, you can just go there and start when you don't have to go to a physical store. If you have to go to a physical store, you think about it and think about it. But with these online apps and things like that, you could just this will fit me. Let me just buy it. And you bought like how many things that will fit. So I'll say that for me personally, it would be shopping online. I'll be like, no, I've not shopped online. I've had a good month.
okay. I don't think I understand you, but I don't think you're understanding this question now.
Okay.
So let me use the example we've discussed before. You know what? I have been saving money for a long time. I want to treat myself. And I
Mm-hmm.
go to Peckham to eat amala.
Mm-hmm.
That for me will be a money well spent because it's something I deserve.
Hmm.
So do you understand where I'm coming from now?
Yeah, that's why I said for me, I don't do a lot of things to make me say maybe I'm spending my money in a very terrible way. Honestly, I don't do a lot of things. So
Hmm.
even I'm gonna say that it's the opposite for me. What have I not done with my money to say that I've spent the money well? Because I don't really do a lot of things to say, okay, this is something I have to say. To say I've spent my money well is to say I've paid my bills. That is me
Mm.
spending the
Yeah.
money well. Honestly, that's
Okay.
the only thing for me that comes with spending the money well.
Money well. Okay, so
Yeah.
payment of bills. Okay.
Yeah,
Dummy.
honestly.
What about you?
Yeah, like sometimes we have good months and sometimes we have bad months. But in a good month, if I'm able to pay all my bills, still have money to give myself a treat at least maybe two or once in a month, and
Mm-hmm.
still also have money I put aside to save, I would say, yeah, that was a very accomplished
Yeah.
month.
Yeah.
Like, but if at the end of the month I'm like, so maybe something unexpected and you have to pay your
Mm-hmm.
black tax, maybe send money home or do something for someone, help somebody who's in
Mm-hmm.
a tight spot, and you end up not having enough for yourself. Like you can't even say, oh, this is the remaining money from the month after I've paid all my bills.
Yeah.
I'll be like, this was a
It's a
very
bad month.
tight
Yeah.
Bad month.
month.
Yeah.
Okay. So it brings me to my next question. What are your takes on eating out or takeaways?
Hmm. Well, for me,
I feel like I'm gonna laugh already. Okay.
for
For
me,
me, yeah.
yeah, because it may not apply to everyone else, but for me, I like to eat inside, like cook, because I feel like I get the best food that is more nutritious. Because outside, you can't really vouch for how the food is being made. So I like to eat, like cook and eat inside. But there's some days when you're just like exhausted and don't want to enter the kitchen to do anything. So if you feel that way and you decide to eat out, like my sister, it is fine. Like remove the African pressure. Like eat outside if you know you are tired. Like imagine you walking. how many days in a month, and you can't even say you want to go outside to give yourself like something different, because
Mm.
you can't cook all the type of dishes. You can't cook Chinese, you can't cook Italian, you can only cook your African style, Nigeria style. So if you feel like you want to do it, but it's just that it should not be done like every time. Once you're doing it
Yeah.
like every week, that's already going overboard. Except if your budget can actually take care
Carry
of it.
it. Mm-hmm.
But if you can't, it's just like a waste of your money, your hard earned money. So I prefer to cook actually, because it's cheaper, it's more nutritious. You can be more flexible with what you're eating. You can monitor what you're eating, watch your health. But once in a while, please go outside and eat, please.
Anyway, do you agree
Yeah.
with that?
100%, 100%. I'll say that one thing that's helped me now is doing meal prep. So I know there's
Mm,
always food at home. So, I know there's always food at home. I will always have something to eat. But
Okay.
sometimes I'm just like, nah,
I can't be
that's
bothered.
just that's even once in a blue moon. I'm just like, nah, today I want to eat out. And
yeah.
that happens. Even sometimes it comes to my mind to say, like now for the past like few weeks, I've been saying, oh, I've not had pizza in like a long time and ice cream, and I buy it from Domino's, and it's really great. I like the combination I buy, and I've just been thinking about it a
Please,
lot.
which combination is that? I'm trying to get
No, they
it.
just have this ice cream. I can't even remember the name, but when I see
Cookie
it online,
dough.
like,
Is
yeah,
it
is
cookie
it
dough
cookie?
ice cream
I
for
mean, it's
Ben
just
and Jerry's?
yeah, that's the one.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's my
so
Princess,
I
favorite.
like you're a
I
regular
usually have
customer.
that. I usually have that and like one large size, pizza that I'll eat for like 2 days.
Wow.
So honestly, I'm just like, but it has been coming to my mind that I've not had that in like weeks or months. But I know that for now, I'm not at that point where I can say that. Let me buy
Mm,
it. So I'm keeping myself to say I can still contain to say, let me just go and take my free food from the fridge or something and warm it and eat. But I know that there'll be that day I'm just gonna be like, no,
You
today
know
is
what?
the day, and I'm going. So
Yes.
for now, I can still contain to say, oh no, let me
It's not
just
yet a craving. It's
yeah.
not
yes,
yet a
yeah. It's
craving.
not, it's not,
You
it's
should.
not, it's not as strong.
Yeah.
So it is
Okay.
very important that it saves you a lot of money. And if you
Yeah.
want to
Mm,
say you're eating out, if your budget can carry it, that's fine. But when you eat out, you're only buying maybe breakfast. In the afternoon at night, what are you going to eat? Are you going to order again or
exactly.
something? So that's what eating out does to you in a way. So if you are lucky enough, you can just put some portion away for lunch or some. But what are you going to eat at night? So I'm going to say that eating homemade meals saves you a whole lot of money, gives you a lot of options and stuff. But once in a while, take a balance, eat something, give your taste bud something nice, something
Yeah.
nicer. Let me say it that way because you cook something nice. So just something different. I'll
Something
put it
different,
that
not
way.
even
Some,
something nice, something
yeah,
Yeah.
different.
let me say
Something
something
different.
different. Yeah.
Just
So put
just
it that
like
way.
me, for some days now, I've been craving not my food. Let me put it like that.
Ex- it
I've
come
been
it
craving
happens.
not
It
my food.
happens.
So at this moment, and I know that because of the budget I have, I can also
Mhm.
not go and buy
Yeah.
food. I
Mhm.
So what I did was, Iceland has been a savior for me because I know that they have this what's the name?
Pre-processed. Is it
Not
pre-processed?
pre-processed, but like a meal
Pre-prepared.
that pre-prepared. Thank you.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So like it's already prepared just for you to put it in the oven or in the
Bone,
microwave.
Oh.
yeah.
And they have these deals where you can buy three of it because I'm kind of like on a diet now, so I'm eating only chicken.
Ah.
So they have this
Wow.
pre-processed milk. It's basically protein. So I have like 3 packs of chicken, different flavors, for £10, and I bought it, and my whole fridge is chicken now. So I am not the one that prepared it. Just for me to bring it out and put it in the oven, and it kind of like helped me because if I take like 5 chicken wings, I'm full. And I still have
Hmm.
more that can last me till half of the month. And it also helps me because I will not go and buy takeaway where just a meal I'll eat is £10 or twenty
Yeah.
pounds. So those are kind of ways that you can find a balance between eating out
Mhm.
always and stuff like that. So yeah, another question I have is window shopping.
Hmm.
Mm.
So window shopping is kind of how do I put it now, therapeutic in a way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what now triggers you to spend the money while window shopping? Because you're going window shopping not to actually buy anything, but just to
Mm-hmm.
look around, have a stroll. But what like triggers you to now spend the money while you're on window shopping?
Maybe the
David, do you
item
want to
is
go first?
I would
Now,
I mean
nobody wants to go
I mean,
first.
I wouldn't say I'm even that kind of person that goes and shops on do window shopping because first of all, when my money comes in, immediately that week like this, I've already distributed it, paid rent, paid bills, pay everything. So what I have is probably maybe transport when I have to go to work during the month and feeding money that I've already put in another different account. So like when I want to swipe the card, when I see my balance, like, should you be doing
I'm
this?
looking at you now because
Hello?
have you not been online and you're
Hello?
scrolling and you see
Hello?
something? Ah, check
So
well, oh.
the only thing that can trigger me is if maybe, for example, I have an occasion and I feel like I want to look wear something different that I don't have. So I can be like, okay, yeah, if I spend this money, it means that something is going to have to give, or am I going for an item that is maybe affordable that I can afford to like close my eyes and just pay for it? So
Mhm.
if I have an occasion, I can't just spend if I don't have any occasion. So I'm just going to buy that and put it in my, or maybe it's on sale and it just came out at a very good price
You
and I've been
see?
looking at it.
See what I'm saying?
Maybe that one too, but I have to have an occasion or a very good reason for buying it. Except if I'm saying, okay, this month I want to buy some things in my wardrobe. But if not, because I remember at the beginning of the year, I was like, okay, I want to add some clothes to my wardrobe. And I was like, okay, I went online and I bought some things. But the next month, I didn't buy anything. The next one, I didn't buy until like the third month. I was like, okay, I saw this nice skirt. I'm just going to get this
Mhm.
and add to my collection. But the triggers is that I must have like an occasion coming up. I must be
Mhm.
able to like afford to buy that item, or maybe I've been waiting for it to come up and that's finally like it's not available or it's now on sale. Yeah, those can be like triggers, make me buy it. Or maybe I'm depressed and I want to feel
And
excited.
It's
shopping is the
therapeutic.
only
It's
thing.
therapeutic.
Yeah.
Shopping is the only thing.
I'm with you, Dammy. Don't mind that AY. I'm with you there.
No, of course. I mean, 100%. I could not agree less. 100%. I would say that that's the same for me. And something I do now is to leave stuff in my cart for a very long time.
Oh.
So,
Hmm.
I just leave it there. And then, maybe a week, 2 weeks later, or 1 month, you just go back and be like, no, this is never going to fit me again.
Yeah, I don't even
Just
like it
take them
anymore.
out. Exactly. So for me, that impulse buying is kind of like reduced because I have to leave it there and to be sure that okay, I actually want this. So for me, I feel like that's one thing that has helped. For me now, I've been, planning to like get new clothes and stuff, and I've not even bought any because I have left them in my cart for God knows how long. Because I keep seeing new ones, I keep removing, and I've not just made up my mind. So I just leave them there for as long as I can possibly have them there. And if I go back and say that I really want this or I really need this, then I will buy it. If not, nah. And just I don't want to like repeat what Grace has said. It's just the same thing. Sometimes things come up on sale. Sometimes you have an event and you're like, maybe this will fit me better and stuff. Let me buy it. But aside that, nah. So
I want to expand on what AY just said about keeping things in carts. Actually, what will help you basically when it comes to window shopping? For me, it has helped me. Uh Most of the times I window shop, I leave things in fact, I don't know how many things I have in my cart now. Am I going to buy them? Do I need them? No. I just
no
like or just scrolling and oh, this is nice. And I click on it and keep it in my cart. And it has helped me not to make like
hasty
impulse
decision. Yeah,
Yeah.
decisions.
that
Or
impulse.
yeah, exactly. Or let me say like I am going to a store now because I prefer window shopping not online but like physically going
Physical
to the store.
store.
So when I go to the store, I see a dress or I see something and I pick it up and put it in my cart. Then I don't go out immediately. I make sure I walk
Think
around.
about it.
I walk round and round. I might have done up to 500, 600 steps in that store. Then I ask myself, do you really need this? No, check it. Check it. Do you really need this? And that's how I just drop it and I leave. And it has, in a way, I've seen fine things. My mind is a little bit free. And then that actually helps not to like
hmm
buy. So
Mhm.
yeah, I just wanted to elaborate on what AY said. The next thing I want to ask is debt good or bad?
Do you mean like having credit cards?
Nah, you're
Because
cynic
that's
now.
different from having debt.
So with regards to credit cards now, is it a good thing or is it a bad thing?
Well, for me, I would say it's both ways. It's good and it's bad. Like, for example, I have a credit card. Not credit cards like some people do. Like when people say they have more than one credit card, I start looking at you with a second eye. Like, are you making a good financial decision? Yeah, because it's good because in this part of the world, like if you don't have credit cards, like you won't be able to build your credit score. Even though you can actually build your credit card without having credit, you can
Credit
build your credit
score.
score without having a credit card because I did that. But I had credit card because I wanted to like just go really to the max, and it can also help with budgeting. Because for example, now if I want to get like if I want to transport myself or do one miscellaneous thing that is not really important, I use my credit card. And I know that I'm not going to exceed like one huge amount, like get to 500 or exceed my limits. Maybe max I'm going to spend like maybe 100 or 200 pounds on it. But then at the end of the month, when I get my salary, I can as well just clear it at
Payback.
once,
Yeah.
and it helps to build my credit card. So my credit. What am I mixing this? Build my credit score. So now that's good. Or if I have something I really want to do and I don't really have so much money and I want to just use the credit to do that, I can use it. So it's like convenient, it's flexible. But when you now start when it becomes bad is when it start you're like going
Overly
overboard. Like
reliant.
yeah, you're using more than you can afford. Like when your salary even comes in, you can't even clear your own debts. Like that's when you're not making a good decision. So that's when it becomes bad and you now have your credit score even dropping. And like AY said, when you're not over reliant, you can't. If you ask some people now, oh, what are you going to use to pay for this? Like, oh, my credit card for this, my credit. They use credit card for everything because when the salary comes in, the salary is used to pay debts. They can't even save anything because they're using the credit card for everything. So yeah, it can be good, it can be bad, depends on how you decide to use it. So
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. I'm just gonna say that in this part of the world that we live in, your having a credit card is kind of important because some of the things, building your credit score, having to get things because they need you to have like a credit. So, sometimes when you even go to like phone stores, I remember when I wanted to buy a phone like 2 years ago, they were like, no, we can't take it cash down because I was not buying from Apple directly. They were like, oh, we can't take it cash down. You have to, buy it on a contract.
hmm.
And it's good and it can be bad because when you don't pay on time or things like that would eventually now affect your
Make
credit
it,
score.
yeah.
You're trying to build your credit score and then having to take some things is not even affecting it negatively. So I'm going to say that of course it can be good, it can be bad. I'm going to say that for me, one way I use my credit card, just like Grace said, is emergencies or something. Maybe, and sometimes just be like, oh, maybe I'm just taking Uber. I'm just be like, nah, let me just use my credit card for that. Like it's not something that you're overly putting, like you're overly reliant on that. this
Mm,
this credit card is just the only thing I have now. So I think it can be good, it can be bad. It is important that you're spending what you can pay back, you can afford to pay back. Some people will say that if you cannot afford to pay it there and there, you do not need it. You
yeah,
like you don't you cannot even afford it. So I feel like it's important that you have a balance to it. Don't be overly reliant on credit cards, but sometimes when you have to just use it, just say that I'm paying, as at when due. Just say that I'm very, how do I say it now? Just very responsible with my finances. Sometimes these are what these credit score companies use and whatnot. So it can be good and it can be bad. It's just finding that balance, yeah, to it.
yeah.
For me, I'll say credit card is like a whole lot of like another discussion on its own. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've been listening to like podcasts and videos about credit card. Credit card is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing.
Mm,
Like AY said, if you can't, in fact, anything you want to spend on your credit card should be something you can pay immediately.
mm,
So you're just using your credit card to use it and increase your credit score, but make sure that at the end of the month,
Mm-hmm.
because I know that the credit card has like a different calendar on its own. So before they roll over, make
Mm-hmm.
sure you
You're
pay
able
it so that
to.
you don't pay interest on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I learned about credit score is for those people that, remember, this is not, I'm not a financial advisor, but this is what I have learned based on the research I have done. When it comes to credit card, for those people that are having two, three, four credit cards, just know that if one is dormant, it's reducing your credit score.
Oh, I didn't
Exactly.
know that.
Because you only have one.
No, I don't have
Because-
one. I actually have two. I have
Mm.
okay.
American Express and I have one from Monzo, but I don't
Mm.
even know that. I
If
don't even know that.
I just realized that, and my head was like,
Oh,
because
really?
it's
I,
not,
I,
it's
I
not
didn't know
about
that.
having it. You have to. It must not go
So
dormant.
you must keep using them.
Exactly. If
Oh,
not,
Wow.
it
really? I didn't know
affects your
that.
credit score.
Wow.
So that's why I'm saying, like, credit
Wow.
cards is like a whole, and it's like another discussion on its own.
Its own.
And
I think, okay.
no, continue.
No, I think the only thing I heard is that even having that credit card, you cannot, if you can't spend more than 40% in a way,
Yes,
because
you should
if
not.
when you yeah, not like you have access to spend it, but I think it's when you spend up to 40 more than 40% that it start affecting your credit score
Credit
or something.
score.
So
Yeah.
even the money that they are giving to you is accessible to you, but it has some like negative implications. And
Mm-hmm.
one thing I also discovered that even sometimes you're not even trying to get the card, but the fact that you've gone to check out the process is recorded in your credits, your
Yes.
Yes,
credit score report.
yes.
You're not actively getting the card. I just want to say, even if I try it, like me now, just my curious self, I just like, let me even try that. How much will they give me? I'm like, okay, you can give me this amount of money. Oh, great. And I just, you know, log out. And then when my credit report comes at the end of the month, I'm just be like, why are you saying that? Oh,
Why?
you tried to get
Why
a
you
card.
snitching like this?
I mean,
Why
you
you a
tried to get it.
snitch?
So I tried to get a card, but I did not get it. Why is that having any,
Why you a
thing on
snitch
my
like
credit
this?
report? So I think
Eh?
that these are some of the things that like reflect on your report. It's just is it has a good side and it has a bad side, obviously.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah. The next question I would ask is, do you have an emergency fund?
Hmm.
Hmm.
I think that's something everybody should have. Like, because this life is unscripted, like anything can happen.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Life will be lifing at any moment. Eh?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Mm.
For me
we should have
personally,
it. Okay.
yeah, it's very important that you have, an emergency fund. But because of me, at the point where my money is going everywhere now, into
Mm.
and everywhere, I'm gonna say that sometimes I do not necessarily say this is my emergency fund. Sometimes it comes because if I have something to do and I'm unsure about, how much it's gonna cost me at the end of the day, I just, put it in excess to say okay. But if I'm not, I know that life can be life in sometimes.
Oh my
I just put
days.
like a little, but I'm not going to say that every month I say that, oh yeah, this is my emergency fund. Please, I'm not even expecting anything to come up. Please, I'm not even expecting you to say that now. Let me give you an emergency. Please, I'm not expecting you. And I'm going to say that sometimes credit card helps me like emergency. If it's really, really emergency, I'm going to say that credit card comes in handy for me. But I'm not going to say that every time. But I think it's very important so that you don't have to even keep going to credit cards and this stuff. It's sometimes important that you just have this emergency fund somewhere. I think that me personally, where I am now, if I'm more, will I say freer? Is there an English word like that? If
You're a
I'm,
free bird. You're a free
if
bird when
I'm,
it comes to
I still
finance
feel like,
now.
oh, when even my finance, even as much as I consider myself a free bird, there's still some things that in my head I'm just gonna be like, no, this
Mm.
money at this point in time, I still don't have that. How do I put it to say that, oh, this is an emergency fund? Please, no, I'm
Mm.
not. Emergency don't come. Thank you.
Life don't life. We don't need you
Please,
now.
Yeah.
please be fair with me, please.
Okay.
For me too, I don't think I have like an emergency fund set aside somewhere that okay, this is for emergency.
Mhm,
But I do have like little savings I have here and there. But
mhm.
one rule I've always had in life is that my account must not go below a certain threshold, because you just want to have a bit of like security. Like, when
Yes.
they say as a lady, if you are going out with a guy, hold your money that you're going to buy, pay for your
Mm-hmm.
food because of anything. So that kind of little fund somewhere,
Mm.
like, okay, even if I spend money for
Yeah.
this, that, like every month, my account must not go below this threshold, because you know, you don't know when so everybody can set a personal threshold, like, okay, if it is 500 pounds, if it's 300, if it is 1,000 pounds, okay, my money
It
must
must not go beyond this.
below this. I'm in red, like anything, I must sit in my house and not go anywhere throughout. Yeah, so
I
you
agree.
set fund, but you can
Mm-hmm.
threshold that your account balance must not.
Yeah.
And it's very, let me just mention, pick one thing from what you said. It's very good as a lady. If you're going out with a guy, do not eat more than what you
We are
can
not.
pay for.
We are. We are not relationship advisors, though.
Please,
We are just
Yes,
God,
telling
so
you.
do not.
Honestly, if you can eat whatever you're eating, just ensure that you are able to pay yourself. If
Mm,
anything just comes up,
we
even
never
what you're
know.
eating, I mean, just be sure that you are able, you can
yeah,
afford it. You can afford it,
I'm vexed
and
and
so,
pay.
yeah, just this. This is just like, even like, ayaba, like Yoruba we say it. So it's not like, don't, if men want to pay, if the guy wants to pay, of course you're free to pay
Yeah,
and whatever, but you yourself eat only what you can afford.
Yeah.
obviously. The next question I want to ask is just kind of like, what do you know about investments?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Honestly, for me, this is something that I'm really, really, I've been looking to it for months now, but I've not actually gotten that answer for me. I've not gotten that thing that works for me, because I'm seriously, seriously considering it, but I've not actually gotten the answer that works for me. But I would say that everything I know is is just theory, based on what I've heard people say or watched and stuff. I do not have like a practical thing, because I'll be like, for now, the only thing I'll say is my investment. It's not an investment, but an investment in a way is contributions, that adjust thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to have to go into a proper investment where I don't know.
There's not really like much
Yeah, I
education
don't
about
have,
it now.
yeah. I've
Yeah.
like, there's one guy I came across on TikTok now where she talks so much about investment, and according to her, she saved £50,000, and she's just
Wow.
23 years old. Yeah, but then
Wow.
then then she said she's trying to save £100,000. But when she, explained some of the things that, as to investment, currently she lives with her she lives with her parents, so she's not having to pay rent. And when she says, I save 70% of my income, I'm like, oh, I wish to do that as well, but I
Yeah.
have to pay bills. I'm not living with my parents or anything.
We have to be
And then she
realistic.
explains some of these things, that, oh, I put my money maybe into this kind of cryptocurrency, this investment. It is great. I watch her, but I have not gone ahead to say that, oh,
Practice it.
yeah, because I do not have, an understanding of it. And that is something that, if anybody, has an idea, however, I'm open to
Yeah.
to learning. But right now, I don't have any practical examples to say this is what I'm doing and it's working for me. No, but it's something that I'm really, because I need my money to grow. I don't just want to
We all
save.
need our money
I
to
need my
grow. We
money
need
to
that
grow,
second
um,
income
fly
stream. Because,
wings,
yeah,
start
yeah.
to fly wings. So I'm open to
Yeah.
any education about that.
Okay. Dami.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that this year I was like, I'm going to like look into, because I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we're already getting a bit stable. We
Oh,
can now think
yeah.
about other things. Yeah, I'm getting older. So, we're already
I'm young, but I'm
adulting.
not old.
Yeah,
Ah,
we are becoming adults and we have to start making like adult decisions. So yeah, I've been looking into
yeah.
it, and there are some people I see post about, different kind of investments, and I've tried crypto, but I don't think I'm cut out for that volatile environment. So I'm kind of not interested in that again.
Something that you're not able to put so much time and effort into,
Yeah,
Something that you
monitoring
and
and
just
stuff.
leave and it's growing on its own. Not
Exactly,
that I'll be
exactly.
paying you and changing your diaper
exactly.
and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah.
But the one I've heard about like, a couple of times is stock and bonds
ISAs.
ISA.
Yeah.
So people are really talking about it a lot, like investing in Vanguard, like all this long term investment
Yeah,
that
that was
you
what I
don't
had
you
to.
don't actually like, you just invest and they put it
In
in
the
like different
next 10,
companies.
15, 20 years,
Yeah,
you
the
don't need
next yeah, the next 20 years, that's
you
when you
don't need the
decide to like
money.
pull out your investment. It's a
Mm-hmm.
long term. Those are kind of things that I'm looking at, and I'm thinking like, by God's grace, at least by next year, one should
Yeah.
like start setting into those kind of things. Then there's also
Mm-hmm.
one like lifetime ISA, like if you want to get
Yeah.
your first home, all those kind of things. Like
Yeah. More,
those things are
yeah.
things that, even though we're not like how would I put it? We've not really had like early starts, because a lot of people like in the Western world, like some of them even have their parents open junior ISA, open
ISAs for
junior
them. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
investment for them.
Yeah,
But we didn't have that support, but doesn't mean that we can't even
we
do it for
can't.
ourselves
Yeah,
or for our own children. So I'm researching on it and hoping that at least,
exactly.
yeah, one at least, even if it's the one for the home or the one for the stock and all those ones that we can still do. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just
That
gonna say that I know that I think many banks, even not all banks, have those ISAs, lifetime ISAs, your mortgage ISAs and things. The only one I've read about is maybe if you're buying your first home, if you save £4,000, you're gonna get
Yeah, I
25%. That's
get
1,000.
1,000.
So those are the things I know, but I've not done that myself practically. So because I do not I've just heard about it. I've not gone myself to research and say this is. So I'm at this point I will not actually put. So if you know you have the time to study, don't just go and put your money because everybody say that this is working.
oh, obviously no,
So
Mm.
don't do that.
and I just want to get to that point where I can actually, because at this stage in our lives, we need to start.
Yeah, but
It's
for the home,
investment is the next thing.
I think a lot of Nigerians I see a lot of people
Oh
on YouTube
yeah,
now.
many people.
They're doing it.
Yes,
They're buying their homes through that.
yes,
So I would say
Yeah.
for
yes.
the home, it's verified. It's really good.
Is
But just that
yeah,
it's
because
not
you're
a
doing with your
money.
bank.
Yeah, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not a money that you can just take out. So it's locked. If you decide to take
Exactly.
the money out, you will lose like 25% they are giving
Percent
you.
of it. Yes,
Yeah, so
yes.
that
I've
one
heard
I know
about
I've
that.
done my research. I know that one is
Mm-hmm.
legit. So I'm thinking like,
Yeah.
okay, maybe next year or maybe end
Yeah,
of this
you
year. Who
can start
knows? One
exactly.
can start.
But when it comes to home, it depends. So because when you want to buy a home like this now, it has to be where you're settled, or unless you want to give
No?
it out on rent.
Is there a rule?
No,
You
no,
know,
no, no,
that's
no.
to be
I'm saying
Oh,
discussed.
personally, like
Okay.
oh,
if you want to live in the
oh,
house, it
oh,
needs to
okay.
be buying the home is like where you want to
Where you want to live,
Oh,
yeah.
definitely,
long
of course,
term,
of course, of course,
exactly,
of course.
unless you want to use it for a business in the sense that you
Yeah,
want
oh
to
no,
rent
of
it,
course,
do
No, no, no,
Airbnb
definitely.
and
they
stuff
will not
like
do
that.
Oh,
that.
oh,
Okay,
definitely, definitely.
no problem. I think we will talk about that in a later time.
Yeah.
But I'm also looking for like someone with vast knowledge on ISAs,
So I think that
investment and
even
stuff like
aside
that.
someone, I think you can speak to your banks for that.
Hmm.
I think that at least the times I've gone to the website, they say if you need more knowledge, you can contact the bank or something. So you don't necessarily it doesn't necessarily have to be a person. Sometimes it's better to be the financial institution that you're trying to put your money into.
Okay.
If there are
Mm.
people available, it's better that you speak to them directly. They're able to enlighten you better instead of just listening to an
Other people.
outsider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. No problem. My next question will be, what does your rich life look like?
Mm.
My rich life.
What will it look like?
I would say rich life. Me, I'm not. Everyone has like personal
Yeah, that's why I
ambitions
said
and
what
dreams.
your own rich life looks
So
like.
for me, I'm not really I want to be wealthy kind of person, but I want to be very comfortable. Like when I mean comfortable, I mean I can afford the basic things that I need. I can afford to pay my bills. I can afford to live in a comfortable 4 bedroom, 3 bedroom, semi-detached, beautiful house that has a garden. Do you get, like, my kids can afford to go to private school, get the best, get, but comfortable. I can afford every basic thing that I need. And if I want to travel once in a year or 3 times in a year, not lavish living. Yeah, I can afford everything and I can live comfortably. That's it.
Okay.
That's my rich life.
So, AY, what's yours?
I would say that short term, where I am presently, my rich life is me going on vacation,
Oh my
going on
God.
holiday.
I'm with you.
Currently, anything that speaks rich is when I go on holiday.
I'm with
When I'm
you.
home, I'm modest.
I'm
So I
with
would say
you.
that short term, that's it. And then having to pay bills, these basic amenities and stuff that we've talked about. But long term, mm, is being comfortable, providing the best life for your children, things that you were not opportune to give them the opportunity. And for me, long term would also be just being able to afford anything I want. I don't have to be the richest woman in the world, but as long as I'm able to afford whatever I want per time, I think that would mean that I'm living a rich life, in peace, good health. Those are the things that mean, you having a rich life.
Yeah. For me, I'm going the line of AY, because like the fact that my rich life will be when I wake up and say, you know what, I feel like going to, let me say, London, Spain, or going to
Mm.
this place today,
Mauritius,
and I can just,
Maldives,
oh,
Seychelles.
my sister,
As
my
in,
sister,
Marrakesh.
all my days,
I mean, short term, that's the
Dubai.
enjoyment.
Like, you just wake up and you say, you know what, I feel like doing this today, and I'm able to do that without any other part of my life being disturbed.
Affected. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that will be that will be game for me. That will be like, when I get to that point and I know that my business is not being affected, my
Mhm.
children, my family, nothing is being affected, but I can do that. Then yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah.
What do you think has helped you in being financially stable? I think this is our last question.
Mm. Would we even say we are financially stable at this point? Like,
Let's check table
That
small.
was what I was thinking about. That.
Let's check table small.
I think, I think we are just making do with what we have.
We are just broke girls managing daily.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, I would not say that I'm. How do I put it now? Maybe so that people will not think that, oh, what's
We
going
are
on in their
rich.
lives.
We are
Of course,
broke
we are
girls.
very, very. No, I'm not going to say that we are broke girls.
Okay.
For me, as long as I can pay my bills, I'm
Mm.
stable. That's one stability. The other stability, yes, is now be like, "Mm-mm, I'm not where I want to be. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So paying my bills, 100% stable. But now, you've been able to, and I'm not even going to necessarily call all of them needs. Sometimes they're just wants. So it's a two-way thing for me. I'm able to pay my bills. I'm stable. That one is, let's give glory to God for that. But then,
We're giving him
sometimes you
glory.
want all of this. You be like, oh, I need this. I want that. I want. We are
Mhm.
not there yet, but we are working towards it.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's it.
That's that. You also agree, Grace?
Yeah, as long as I'm not, in a position where I'm having to like beg people to help me and I'm able to like sort myself out on my own, I think, yeah, financially stable. And I can also
Mm-hmm.
extend financial help to people that ask
Yeah.
me out of the least I'm earning.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm
Yeah.
so what has helped to be, living within your means,
I mean.
not like spending more than you can
Mm-hmm.
afford, and also
Mm-hmm.
like budgeting, planning yourself, make sure that you're able to like sort out anything that comes up along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I
Sometimes
okay.
like, I'm just gonna sometimes, just like I said, sometimes the reason why we think we're not financially stable is because we just have a lot of wants. In the
Thank
Yeah.
you.
actual sense, you're doing fine. You're doing
Yes.
well. Of course, we should aim for more. We should aim for better. As humans, we should aim to grow better in all areas, financially and whatnot. But sometimes you just have to, cut yourself some slack and be like, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So
I just
Mm.
like how you summarized it. The fact is that we are financially stable, but we cannot afford our rich life.
Yes.
it's just our
Not yet.
wants are insatiable. I mean, they're just insatiable. We just want more
Mm.
things. We want to be able to do this, do that. So I'm gonna say that it's good that we are open for better. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, just be patient, put in the work. We're gonna get there.
Okay.
Mm.
This question I want to ask is not part of our question, but it
Mm-hmm.
just came into my mind because I think like our finances kind of have something to do with our mindset.
Hundred
And
percent.
I wanted to know your thoughts on that.
Me, I ask that you expand a little bit. Mindset it
Mine
feels large for me
Okay,
or
so when
vague.
I talk about mindset, I'll use an example. If somebody is used to, you know what, I'm going to spoil myself. And
Mm.
when you talk about spoiling yourself, like we've discussed that before, when you kind of used going to Peckham and going to maybe an expensive hotel to like spend the night there. that is you spoiling yourself, but that is two different perspective about spoiling self. So it also has to do with your mindset. You see where I'm coming from now? So like when you talk about mindset and finance,
Mm-hmm.
it's very large, but let's talk about the spending aspect now. Let's not talk about making money aspect now.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So
Mm.
what do you think when it comes to spending money, your mindset and money itself?
Hey, why do you want to go first?
Um, honestly, I'll be like, when it comes to finances, it's very important that even in all aspects of life, you unlearn, relearn, and whatnot. How they say it, aspire to perspire things. So, but I mean, mindset is something that must be changed. You cannot say that because I always want to treat myself, I must go to a five-star hotel,
Mm.
even when it's sometimes affecting your finances. Sometimes that mindset needs to be dropped. It could come once in a while if you're able to afford it. So, and sometimes, spoiling yourself does not mean, having like the worst best thing is not good enough, but your mindset is that no, some people will be like, I'm not, please don't take this the wrong way. Be like, to spoil myself, I always have to buy charity clothes. You can
Mm.
get something better. There's some mindset, they can afford it, but they cannot think bigger to get good things.
They are
It's not bad
stingy
that
to
you
themselves.
Yeah.
Let's use that word.
so
Please,
sometimes it's no, 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 no. I'm not going to even say they are stingy to themselves. They do not know
Mhm.
their
Okay.
mindset is, I don't know, it's just small to say that.
Mm.
I'm not saying buying that is bad, but it's mindset can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing. So some people have like very good mindsets, some people have like very shallow mindsets. So I'm gonna say that is relative. But when it comes to money, it's good that sometimes you unlearn some things, learn new things, relearn some things. Relearning could be relearning how to, just like we're talking about investments, you need to relearn. Sometimes you might even need to learn from like the very beginning. And unlearning some things might be, I must do this morning. I must when you do not necessarily need it. So I'm gonna say that sometimes you can learn from people. You don't have to take everything. You don't have to absorb everything in, but you just table them to see what works for you. That is
Okay.
you helping your mindset when it comes to finances.
And
Okay.
you know, one thing is that mindset is very powerful because
Mm,
it's what shapes everyone's personality, what you believe
yeah.
in. And sometimes if you look at people's how they handle their finances, it boils down to their upbringing, what kind of experience they've had growing up. And
Yeah.
most of them, they share the views of their parents. So for example, if there's someone that grew up in affluence, and maybe along the line one of their parents lost their lives,
Pass.
and they had to start living in conditions. Even if they don't learn and unlearn some things, they would still have that affluence life like mindset, like, no, I have to live in this kind of comfort, even though they can't actually afford it, but because they are used to that certain lifestyle, it would take them having to obtain knowledge and empower themselves to be able
Hmm.
to like shed that and realize that I have to live within my means. I have to like change some things about myself. So yeah, mindset, it's very very powerful when it comes to handling finances. And there's this saying that people used to say that in a marriage, one person has to be a spender, one person has to be a saver. If not, the marriage is heading for the walls or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to add that, as people, just as Grace said something about affluence and stuff, don't, how do I say, don't victimize other people. We don't
Mm,
necessarily have to have the same mindset. So don't, if you see somebody spending, eating out or whatnot, it could be that that was the way they grew up and they can afford it, they can live that way. And some people are like, let's say, very great savers. They don't
yeah.
even want to spend one kobo anywhere. They just want to save everything. So those two kind of people, you cannot now start saying, "Oh, you're doing bad or you're doing good." To the affluent person, they are doing good, and to the other, saver, they are doing good. So it's important that we don't victimize other people based on our own perspective of our own mindset. Just do what works for you.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you guys have like any recommendation, books, anything that we can go to get more information, because ah we need our finances to be in check. Any recommendations, guys?
I
Podcasts.
personally, I know people have talked about maybe rich dad, poor dad, or something.
Yeah, I
But
was
I
about
heard
to say
recently
that
that
too.
people said that even rich dad, poor dad is poor or something. I don't know. I don't
Wow.
know.
Did, did,
I don't.
no,
I don't
I
know.
think with
Or
that, what they mean is that because he kind of like, I think he
maybe
borrowed
when yeah,
borrowed
when
a lot of
bankrupt.
money and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
So I
Yeah.
mean, some see that's why I said about even people, even we that we are speaking, you might have seen one or two flaws in the things that we have said.
No,
So
we're not
nobody is
financial
an
advisors.
no,
No.
like even we are just people. What
Mm-hmm.
works for me does not necessarily have to work for you. That's why I said don't be a sponge that just absorbs everything, just take everything in. Now you have to be able to dissect to say this is what works for me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that my own recommendation is, learn as much as possible. You don't have to listen to everybody.
Mm-mm. Pick one thing, pick the other thing.
Yeah. So, and
Do
then you'll
your
be able to
research.
just know
Yeah.
this is what works for me. This is what works for me. And then you're good to go. That's just my recommendation. Just do what works for you. Do you, but ensure that you're making good decisions.
Okay.
Yeah, like I also agree. Like, and also the fact that you know knowledge is power. So if you're not searching for knowledge, there's no way you're going to find
Mm-hmm.
it. And also you have to make sure that you set yourself in the right position so that when opportunity comes, you're not lacking. Like for example, opportunities might come and or information might come about how to invest on something you get, but you've not positioned yourself in a good place financially and you're not able to like tap into it because you don't even have any money to even consider playing
Spare.
with
Mm-hmm.
like an investment idea. And also like not being desperate because some people are so desperate for money. I mean, and that's how people fall into all these ponzi schemes. Like if you're
Ponzi
falling
schemes.
into
Yeah.
ponzi schemes in this century, like I'm going to look at you with two eyes, like seriously, you need to learn
Bombastic side eye.
from all the past
Because
ones. Like so,
honestly,
not being desperate. They can't tell you that oh come and invest in something and you're going to make
I
fifty
mean, you're
percent
just
interest rate. And
everywhere.
like 50%. If I put 1 million, I'll make 2 million. You have to think.
Get rich in 10 days.
As in,
All
you have
those
to
wow.
think with
things.
your brain, like, is this even financially possible? Like, the people that are even giving me the money, how are they making that
How
money?
exactly?
You have to think about it twice before you make those decisions. And also, like praying. I'll just say pray for knowledge, pray for directions, pray before you commit into anything because your money is something you work hard for. It's going to be
It's
really sad
yeah.
You don't want
if
to
you
see it
commit it into
go.
something and it ends up going down the drain. So, and ask questions, speak to people. They always say befriend people that are more knowledgeable than you so that you can learn from them. So speak to people that you trust that are making like good financial decisions. Like read like a lot of informations are out there online that
I
you don't even have
mean,
to pay for. People are doing TikToks every day, giving people information for free. So look for this information and think and decide, research on what is best for you, what fits your own financial pocket, because you can't invest like Elon Musk would invest because you don't have the financial capability to do so. So
Exactly.
invest in what you can afford, not invest with all your money and you don't even have any money to eat or pay your bills. So just do everything smartly.
yeah.
No problem.
I'm just gonna add to, what we've been saying. Please, when it comes to investments, don't put 80% of your salary in investment. That is, I would want to believe that that is not how it works. When you
Yeah.
want to invest, maybe start little, and it's little money that you are able to close your eyes to. If it goes, it
Yes.
goes. If it
Yes.
flies away, it goes. If it comes back to me, it's a plus. So don't go and put £2,000 when you are just a beginner.
Oh my day.
Please, that's not the way
That would be
investment
too
works.
painful.
Yeah, so because you don't know what's coming, you don't know. So when it comes to investment, build yourself. You have to build a structure within yourself. Don't start. I would advise that you start small, even with
Yeah.
saving or whatnot. Start small so that you're not saving today. You're not saving £500 today. Tomorrow you are withdrawing £1,500. Why? So if you can only save £50 per month, start with that.
Mm,
Now
I
I
also
can I
think
can afford to save £100. Okay, let me do it. So don't
mm.
uh-huh.
say I'm investing £200 today. Next week I'm withdrawing £1,800. So find a balance within yourself to be able to say this is what I can put in, and I'm looking back to say that if it comes back to me, fine. If it does not come back, I have learned something and I can do it in a better way.
And if you
Yeah.
can't save or invest, do not pressure yourself. Just
Yourself.
there's
Yes.
If you
time
can
for
only afford to
everything.
pay your bills and eat food, do
Pay
that
your
for now.
bills until and start looking for your second stream of income, because we
Yeah.
all want to get to a place where we are living our rich life. So
Financially secure,
exactly.
financial
So
Yeah.
freedom.
And life is a phase, so you being
Mm,
here doesn't mean that you'll be there in the next few years. You're going to keep growing.
obviously,
that's true,
obviously,
that's true. Life is in phases, yeah.
yeah. Thank you very much, guys. I
Yeah.
really appreciate this discussion. Just like that, we are over an hour long in this discussion, and it's really been insightful. I loved picking your brains, and I loved our discussion. Um, thank you very much.
Yep.
Thanks for having
Uh,
us.
You're welcome.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Uh, so I think that's the end of our life. I will try and continue this series, because whether we like it or not, our finances are something that we don't talk about a lot.
Mm.
Even I was in church, and the pastor mentioned that finance is something we don't even teach in church. We
Mm-hmm.
teach Sunday schools, we teach the Bible and stuff, but realistically, people need to know about these things, and they don't teach it in school. They don't teach it in school. Sometimes in some people's homes, they don't teach it. It's something we just see and we just learn, and it just becomes imbibed in us. So I'll try as much as possible to continue this series. And I know you guys will be available for whenever I come. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank
Take care of yourselves. It was
Yeah.
nice having you.
Thank you. Thank you for having
Bye.
us.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Hey, wait, no be small
Like you're
thing.
gonna be the one